And of course, today we're all here for listing optimization, which is such a crucial piece of the puzzle. Like every seller needs to master this. It converts those browsers into buyers. There is an art form to it. So yeah, we're here to learn.
Well, why don't I share my screen?
If not, I can open it up.
All right.
Cool.
So yes, we're learning how to craft a winning listing copy. So of course, it's going to start with having a winning product. And we came across this product in some other research, and I just thought it was so cute. It is the keyword is a cat TP, but you can see it's not restricted just to cats. It's great for small dogs too. So I thought this was really, really great. But when I started looking at it, these listings really can improve how they're marketing their product. Even 1,300 reviews, and they still have a lot of room for improvement.
Their title, they've used 5 words in their title, and 2 of those are their brand name. That's mind-boggling. Like the amount of, because when you're doing your listing copy, you're doing it for 2 reasons. One is for the Amazon algorithm, and the other is to convert those shoppers into buyers. And they're not doing a good job at either here. The amount of keywords they're leaving out, plus for the buyer, I don't know what size it is. I don't know anything about it from that title. What's it made from? What's it for?
And it doesn't even read well. I mean, pet TP dog. Are we selling the dog or the TP?
Yeah, I'll take the dog.
Yeah, the dog's adorable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so this is what the numbers are for this keyword. So it's actually a really good niche. I mean, 68%, it's got a good buyer demand with 15,000, almost 16,000 monthly searches. And you can see right there, the competition opportunity score is 61%. So I know this gets people turned around a bit on the competition opportunity score, but basically all of these scores, you want them to be high. If those numbers are all high, that's a good indicator for you. So a high competition opportunity score means that the competition is not doing a good job, and you can get in there and you can do better than they are. So again, 343 monthly sales, $38. That's a really good price point. I mean, that's solid. And only 700 average ratings. And the average rating is 4.3, so that's not huge either.
Yeah, definitely. And this is for the US too. So that rating count is super low. And I'm just thinking with that product, I can't imagine the cost of goods being super high. Like, you've got some poles which would probably detach and flat pack down, and some fabric. So it would be quite lightweight, I'm guessing. It's not breakable, low moving parts. It's ticking a lot of the boxes that are non-negotiable for me when I'm looking for products.
100%. Yeah, this definitely has a lot of potential to it. And that these sellers are not taking advantage of what they've got. And it's just, it's like, seriously, guys, come on, you can do better. So can we do better? So we're going to find out. We're going to put ourselves to the test. But this is the product that's in first position. One of the top sellers. They've been selling since 2016. And their price for this product, they have 2 sizes, and the numbers I pulled out are for the larger size. They're selling it for $59.99 US, and their monthly revenue is only $20,000. So this could easily be, a $50, $60, $70 or more $1,000 a month product if they really worked hard at this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. They're not trying. They're either not trying or they're not aware. But I'm not quite sure. I don't want to pass judgment on them yet, but the listing strength to be sitting at a half, you're leaving so much on the table.
Yeah, 100%. They're leaving a lot to be desired. So if you want, why don't we take a look at their listing? Let me just stop sharing my screen for a second, and I'll make sure I've got that up. Yes, I do. Okay, so let me share my screen again. So this is what they've actually done with their listing. So this is what it looks like. So here, the title is a little bit longer. I'm not sure why it's not showing the full title on the first page, or unless maybe that was the listing for the smaller size. Let's see. Nope, still the same. But again, you know, they don't have. Oops, sorry. Their bullet points are not very good. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I'll make it a little bit larger.
No, it's a little bit small. If you can zoom in. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so, you know, they've gone straight into just listing facts, you know, the TP materials, the size, the accessories. And then down at the bottom, you know, pets love this pet bed house. They're not giving us the information. They're not selling this to us effectively. You know, you buy with emotion.
Yeah, and the benefits. You know, they're saying the features. I want to know how's it going to benefit my pet. So, you know, it maybe there's the first line there. It's made from 100% durable canvas. Well, you know, is that it cooling? Is it going to, you know, protect from this? I'm not sure, but it's not putting my mind in okay, this is how it helps me. Pine poles, what does that mean? Does it mean that they don't go moldy? Does it mean that they're very strong? I don't know what that means. I'm sure that there is a benefit to having the poles made of pine, but if you don't tell me, I don't know.
Exactly. And I mean, no, we're not going through, you know, photos, but I mean, that is kind of a cute dog, but so now here they've come in with a few things, you know, like easy to clean, you know, but still it's not a whole lot of they've still not done a great job with their images. So scrolling down, do they
have A+ content? I forgot to ask you that before.
Oh, they do.
They do have. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, they've done an okay job with A+ content, but still they could have done better, I think, here. Yeah, again, sure. I mean, there's not a lot of emotion here. You want to see a happy owner enjoying their pet and enjoying this product. And these are just really kind of generic lifestyle images, I think. So yeah. I definitely think they could have done a lot better with this.
Yeah, very much. And I don't feel like, I know this training isn't on branding, but I don't feel like there's consistent branding there through whether it's use of colors or the brand name or just how that they're communicating. It's kind of a bit hodgepodge. So Robin's just asked a great question. What's A+ content? So if you're brand registered on Amazon, you unlock extra tools and the ability to do extra things that you wouldn't normally be able to do. And one of those is A+ content. So underneath your listing, when you scroll down the page, you've got the option to add extra photos, copy. You can really put great lifestyle images in there. You'll usually find that that's where if you put A+ content in, you know, it does boost your sales. You've got extra real estate on Amazon that you wouldn't normally have. So yeah, definitely get on that.
Yeah, and it's a great way to just communicate that whole brand experience and bring the customer into the experience of owning your product. So
yeah, Angelina, I agree. It's boring for such a fun product. It's kind of got me going like, I don't know. Next. I agree.
All right. So on when you're creating your listing, you're going to want to go to Keywords on Fire first to get your keywords, because if you don't have keywords in your listing, then you're not going to get found and you're not going to be shown on the right search result pages. And that's the whole point. So with that, then you go to Listing Optimizer. So we're going to have a quick look at Keywords on Fire today, but we're going to focus on the Listing Optimizer. And there's a couple components about it that we'll go into more detail when we do the demonstration. But you're looking at basically 3 big metrics when you're looking at your Listing Optimizer: your optimization score, And this is a score that kind of compares you to how other sellers are doing that use ZonGuru and Listing Optimizer. And their score is 11,532. And that rates them as about average compared to other ZonGuru users. So they definitely have room for improvement. Their search volume and combined revenue. So it will show you, and you'll see this when we do the demo, but they're leaving about 25% of each of these metrics on the table by not putting the right keywords into their listing. So they're leaving a lot on the table. So one thing to keep it, well, a couple things to keep in mind when you're writing your listing before we dive into this. You want to make sure that you've got that refined list of relevant keywords, and you want to avoid banned or branded terms. Now, Amazon doesn't put out an official list of words you can't use, but we do have a list that's been compiled over time that tends to be the words that you don't want to use, and they're things like proven or sanitizes. And then, like, if you're selling something in the athletic space, you can't put in Nike or Reebok. Unless you are Nike or Reebok.
Yeah, funny story too. It can be really innocent sounding words that can get you suspended or in trouble. I had a biodegradable product, 100% was biodegradable, no issues there. When I made that claim, I didn't realize, but California has a different law on what the definition of biodegradable is, and something needs to be completely degraded within 90 days to make that claim. So I was banned from selling in the state of California for about 6 months going through that process. So it's one of those things, if it's an environmental claim saying things like Mother Nature, environmentally friendly, good for the planet, that's a big no-no unless you have all your certifications in place. Anything health related, stay well away from, again, unless you have your documents in place. Because you'll just wake up and your listing will be suspended. So learn from my mistake.
Yeah, and one really key thing that I think is really cool about Listing Optimizer, I know someone who had innocently put a term, one of these terms, I think it was eco-friendly. You can't say eco-friendly, go figure. And they put it in their listing, got suppressed, and their account got suspended actually, and they couldn't even get into Seller Central to make the changes, but they were able to go into Listing Optimizer, pull out the word, push it to Amazon, and it was fixed. So if they hadn't had Listing Optimizer, they would have been in a bit of a mess. So that was a powerful tool. Very cool.
If you can hear me clicking away, I'm finding that guide so you can all get that list of keywords not to use. So I've just got that up now. I'll drop that into the chat.
Awesome. So other things that you want to remember, you want your copy to read well. Yes, we're trying to please the algorithm and letting it know what we actually are, but you don't want to just keyword stuff. So you really have to weave these keywords in a way that makes sense. And because humans are going to be reading your listing. And then you want to focus on those best keywords in your title, because that's going to help your organic rank and your click-through ratio. So if your title reads well and it has the most relevant and the highest search volume keywords, that's going to help because it's going to be the most applicable and relevant. Then people are going to click through because, yes, this is what I'm looking for, so I'll click on it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So we're going to get into Keywords on Fire first. Keywords Optimizer.
No worries. All right. So the first, as Kimberly mentioned, when you go to craft your listing copy, you want that list of keywords there so you know what to put into play. And we've run a Keywords on Fire session already. You can see it at the top here, Cat TP. Let me know if you need me to zoom in on this one. You can see it's delivered 300 unique keywords. This is the combined search volume. It's 2.6 million, in case you can't read that. And the total revenue per month that those 300 keywords are driving is 50 million. So the way this tool works is it's a reverse ASN lookup. So you can enter in 25 different competitor products, and the tool will tell you what keywords they are using to generate sales. So super interesting. I love this tool because it is so powerful. And if we jump in, you'll just see.
It's my favorite.
You say that about all the tools.
This one really is, though.
It's probably our most powerful tool that we've got in there. And the first thing I wanted to point out is just the huge amount of data that's actually available. You can see here, it can be quite overwhelming. So what I would recommend doing is going over to the little cogwheel, and if you click the drop down arrow, you've got table settings. And this is where you can add or remove columns that are relevant and important to you. So I might just take out a few that I might leave for today. Obviously, I can come back in at any time and view them, but just so we can show you with a bit more clarity some of our favorite ones, I've taken out some columns. So you've got your list of keywords down the side here, all the different keywords. The first column that we're looking at here is our ZG score. That's essentially your relevancy metric, how relevant the keyword is to the search that you've done. Higher, the more relevant; lower, lower relevancy. You've got your keyword dollar value. And as you can see, I'm just hovering over the top. If I want to know what they are, it's going to give me that description. So keyword dollars is the combined monthly revenue. That particular keyword is ranking for the top 25. Yeah, absolutely, Angelina. I'll zoom in a little bit more. Let me know if that
they're
helps.
saying that the file requires sharing access. So do you think we could just attach the PDF to the emails with the replay that goes out to everybody?
Yeah. Or in the Q&A, it will take me 10 seconds. I'll make sure that one's in there for everybody. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. Then we've got our search volume. So this one is obviously really important because it's telling you how many times per month people are using that particular keyword to search for something. So cat TP, it's been searched over 15,000 times per month, whereas cat TP tent for indoor cats, it's only 1,600. Obviously, that's what we'd call a longer tail keyword. It's more specific. It's not as common as these shorter tail ones. We've got the top 25 competitors. So the number of the competitors that are ranking in the top 25 for this keyword. So the lower this number, the more potential there is. So I can see only 7 of the competitors are ranked for this keyword dog TP and pet TP. So maybe they're not realizing that people are buying this product for dogs and cats. They're just going straight for the cat TP, forgetting about those dog owners. And then we've got our ZG launch score, which tells you how many units you need to move on a daily basis to rank on page 1 for that keyword. So it's a goal that you can work towards. Really important to know when you're launching a product. And then just quickly, these last 3, or the top 3 keywords, that's telling you what those, those really high ranking listings, the top 3 listings, what their combined monthly revenue are. And you've got top 3 clicks, top 3 conversions. And I love this one because it's telling me if there is, 1 or 2 heavy hitters that are taking all of those clicks, all of those conversions. So the lower this number, the more opportunity there would be for me to enter into the space. And lastly, and this is a really popular feature of this tool, if I move over to the side, you can see I've got a graphic image of each of the ASNs that I've brought into the tool. And then below, it's color-coded, showing me where they're actually ranking for the keyword. So red, note this one here, number 1, it's on page 1, it's ranking super high. Then it moves to orange, and then you've got light green, dark green, and space. So you're looking for those greens and spaces to go, okay, maybe this particular keyword, I can see they're quite high numbers, a couple of spaces. Maybe this one here is one that I would come in and target because it's not being well known by my competitors. And again, I can see only 6 of them are ranking for it. Search volume over 8,000. It's definitely one that's worthwhile including. That's a solid keyword. But I don't want to go through 300 different lines. That would take me so long. By the end of it, I would just be sick of it, done. That's why I would highly recommend using filters, and they're just so easy to use, and you can customize different lists like I mentioned before about those short tail keywords and long tail keywords. Maybe you make 2 lists, one of each, so you know these are the long tail keywords that I'm going to go after first. Maybe the short tail ones come later on, but to do that, let's start off, let's say our ZG score. I only want to see keywords with a ZG score greater than, we'll go 50, and I'll hit filter on that one, and you can see my list of unique keywords is now dropped to 124. It's over half the list that's gone. So I've instantly refined my results, but maybe the next thing I want to do is, really focus on the search volume. I don't want to be chasing after those really low ones. So I could say I wanted above, let's say 1,000. Only show me those keywords above 1,000. Again, it's dropped down to 100 unique keywords. From there, maybe I could say, okay, let's get rid of any irrelevant keywords here. I'm just seeing if anything comes up. So cat cave, not really what my product is. I'm going to be wasting time for that. Anyone after a cat cave isn't going to be buying the tent. So maybe I go keyword does not contain cave. And then I can keep filtering more and more like that. Now I've got 86. I could save that view. If I'm scrolling down, I like what I see, everything is relevant, or I could keep filtering. Obviously, everybody's going to be slightly different. I've got a list of 86 keywords. This is the revenue it's driving and the total search volume it's driving per month. They are huge numbers, huge. I could then save this view. So maybe I say, we'll call this list A, whatever I wanted to call it. Click save. I could then come back into this keywords on fire session, and in my save filter view here, I could click on it and view the results. So this is one I did earlier today, it's short tail. So maybe we go have a look at that. So I've got those really big punchy keywords. I can see them here. The search volume is all above 10,000 for these ones. It's not using another keywords on fire session. When I go in and do this, once the session is run, it's mine to have a look at, change the view, really dive into the data, filter it to my heart's content. Once I'm happy with that keyword list, that's when I take it into the listing optimization tool and I start placing those keywords in the right spaces to really make sure that I keep the algorithm on side, but then also convert those shoppers. So that is a really rapid fire walkthrough of keywords on fire, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to find them and why you need them. So Kimberly, I'll let you take over from here and actually place them into the copy, because that's the fun part. You'll see that score just skyrocket.
All right, so let's go here. So this is our listing optimizer tool. So you can see I've run the session on CatTP. So we'll go ahead and have a look. Now you can start this. All you have to do is just create a name and create a session, and you go in and it's completely blank. But I've already preloaded this one. So we'll have a look. So what I've done is I've brought in a few of the listings that were on page 1, and you can do that simply by clicking the plus button. And whoops, I'm clicking on the wrong screen. Multiple screens. So you can enter an ASIN of a competitor or your ASIN, or you could pick one of your products if you already have products listed in ZonGuru, or you can create a blank listing. So why don't we add a blank listing and just see what we go. So we'll call it demo, add listing. All right, so there's our blank listing. So we don't have anything in there yet. So this is that product. Whoops, I didn't want to go there. We've already looked at the listing. So this is that one that we were looking at, and its score is 11,532. So you can see it's only using about 75% of the search volume that's available for the keywords that we've imported. Now, after running that keyword session, in fact, we could take all of these off and just show you exactly what it looks like. So let's just delete these. All right, so this is what it would look like when you first come in, and you can import your keywords from Keywords on Fire. So you can find your session that you saved. So we've got cat TP, we've got short tail, we've got list A. So we'll take list A, and since I've got a refined list, I'm not going to restrict it to strong and medium keywords. I'll just take all of the keywords. Now, I could have just taken the general session that had the 300 keywords, and so I could have just taken the full session there and gone with strong and medium or strong keywords. But I want to be really discerning and go with the list that Kimberly refined for us. And we'll go with all. So we'll just load those in, and then it gives us a score. So based on that list, it's even doing a worse job of using these keywords. So you can see here, we could order this by search volume. And okay, so there's a couple things that came through that we don't want. So we don't want litter or litter mat.
That would have been a good one to filter in Keywords on Fire. So you go keyword does not contain the word litter.
Exactly. So that's the thing going through. We went through really, really fast. You would take a little bit more time and find those and pull those type of things out. So make sure we don't have any others here. It's not a light.
I see something for a rabbit there.
Yep.
Robin's just asked what the little chat bubble with the 44 is in the corner. Robin, that's actually our support button. So if you're ever on the ZonGuru platform and you're feeling a little lost or you have a question, just click on that chat bubble and you'll be connected with the ZonGuru team. This is the demo account that we're running in. So we often test our chat, make sure everything's connected from this platform here. So that's just a list of our recent testing, basically.
Yep. So you can order this by alphabetically by the keywords. If I saw another light, get rid of that one. Order it by search volume, by your Keywords on Fire score. So that's your ZG score that we had from our Keywords on Fire session. We can order it by the number of competitors who have this in their listing. And then it tells you here where it is included in your listing if it is. So if it is a solid gold star, it's an exact match in your title. If it's a hollow star, it's a broad match in your title. And then if it's a tick, then it's just included in the listing somewhere else. And this is really important. You don't, if you have it in your listing once, you don't have to add it again. Once it's there, and the algorithm will find it.
Yeah, I actually find it annoying as a shopper where you're looking at a listing and they just keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. And it's not helping me. It doesn't help the algorithm either.
It doesn't help the algorithm, and you'll see it doesn't have any impact on your search volume or your combined revenue if you do that. So let's just take a little bit of a look. We looked at their listing, but this is something that's really powerful about this tool. Not only do you get to see the bullets, and then remember, this is a competitor. We can see what's in their description. Now, when you have A+ content like they did, you don't see the description. If you don't have A+ content, then the description is the place where you can put in that longer bit of information, bigger than the bullet points. You can see you can go up to 2,000 characters on this. And then you've got search terms, which are these are just your back-end search terms. So you can see here there I'm going for Christmas gift and napping spot and pet napper hideout. So some things that they thought were important, and no one's going to see these except for the algorithm.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to make. They're hidden. You can't see them if you're searching on the listing page, but this tool is going to tell you what your competitors are actually popping in their back-end search terms. That's a really common place to find, especially if you're selling in the US, maybe Spanish keywords. So the Spanish keyword for it, or like they've put that Christmas gift. It's somewhere you can tuck all those extra keywords that maybe don't make sense in your copy, but they're relevant to your product.
And I find that I put misspellings in there also. I have a main word in my product is often misspelled. So I'll put the misspelling in the search terms. So it still covers that. And the people that are unfortunately spelling it wrong, they can still find my product and buy it. So. And you can see they've not even used the 5th bullet.
Wow.
That is so sad.
Well, yeah, that's crazy. Crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of space. I'm just looking in the included in listing column, how much space that actually is there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's a lot. So we'll take a look. I've put in a couple of the competitors. So this is a competitor. They're doing 15,000 on theirs. They're still leaving a lot on the table. This is the other size of, no, this is a different product too. Okay, so this one is also doing 15. This is a different size of the same brand's TP with a non-compliant hero image. They're doing even worse.
Yeah. Look at the combined revenue so that search volume and combined revenue boxes, I always look at those because it's telling me based on the keywords I've brought in what my potential search volume and combined revenue is. They're not even using half. Not even half, which is just wild.
Yeah, hugely wild. So this is the same one as the one that we're looking at, and I just played with it yesterday and added some things and brought it up. But now, so I brought it up a bit. There's still room to go on it. But why don't we just start from scratch with our blank listing and see how we can do? What do you think? Okay. You want to have a play with it?
Yeah. You can at least put in a title or, the title is the most important one because that's the first thing people read. And I like to remember when I'm putting my title together that so many people are shopping on their phones. And when you're shopping on your phone, you don't see the full title links. It gets cut off. So you want those keywords first, right at the front to grab their attention. And the cool part, you can see Kimberly's typing, and as she's typing, it's updating in real time. So you've got your stars coming up. I can see the optimization score is creeping up already. She doesn't need to save it as she's going as well. It's going to save automatically. It's actually super fun to see this happening in real time. And Jane, I just saw your comment there. What I would say about the search volume and the main thing to remember is you want relevant keywords. There's no point in our example putting in the term yoga mat because the person shopping for a cat TP is going to be very different to the person shopping for a yoga mat. It needs to be relevant. Even if it's in the same kind of category, if they don't have that purchasing intent, they're just going to go straight past your listing. And if you have your listing packed with all these non-relevant keywords, Amazon's going to think there's something wrong with your product, where it's just that you're trying to market it to the wrong people. So I would rather have a smaller list of keywords that are relevant than a huge list and be optimized for things that aren't relevant to my product and aren't going to turn into a sale. So I hope that helps clear that one up because I do see a lot of people falling into that trap. They'll put in some really big search volume keywords that may be kind of related, but it backfires because they don't convert, hurts them with the algorithms rankings. Much better to go for highly relevant, even long tail keywords, especially initially. You've done a huge job there. Yeah, 16,000 just from a couple of words in the title.
Yeah, so I've gone over 1 million in the search volume and over 20 million out of the 37 in the combined revenue just with the title, with 86 characters. And remember, I think it's 75 that show on mobile. So I've just said cat TP bed, fun small dog bed, elevated pet or puppy tent, cute outdoor cat house.
I love it. That's awesome. And imagine where you could get to if you had your bullets, your description. You would be maxed out. You made that look too easy. There's with this tool as well, obviously you've got that big long list of keywords. If you want to just see which ones haven't been used, you've got the option to do that as well. Robin's just asked punctuation in the title. There are specific rules that you have to follow with your title. They don't like all caps. They don't like certain punctuation marks. You have to be very clear. I might see if I can find something about that to drop into the chat. But how that's written there is great. It's segmenting.
You can use the hyphen.
Yeah.
You can use the hyphen. You can't use, and I'm in violation. I didn't realize this. I need to fix my listings. You can't use the little straight up and down line. That's against terms of service. And I just recently found that out, and it's in all of my titles. So I was like, oops, I better go put some dashes in.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who do that. And I often see emojis at the start of bullet points, and although they look cool as well, definitely against terms of service. And you'll see people capitalize a couple of words at the start of their bullets. That as well is against terms of service. So yeah, the brand all caps or the first. Yeah, they don't like all caps. They don't like it. Although you'll see it a lot. It's one of those things. It's probably only a matter of time before a bot comes along, picks it up, and causes an issue. So it's not worth it. I wouldn't recommend doing it. It's also you've got, and I can see with those bullets, the full character, like you're just using a fraction of it, but placing those keywords cleverly in the right spots, it's having a huge impact on your search volume and revenue there. That's awesome. So bullet 2, you're saying it's a great gift. That's where we were saying before about the benefits. So you're placing that buyer in that mindset of this is a great gift to give to somebody. They're going to love it. I'd love to know in the chat if people are selling at the moment or if they're still in that researcher phase. And if they are selling, have you gone through this process? Have you really put your keyword list together? Have you compared it to your competitors? Have you gone through and optimized your copy? Let me know where you're at. So I'd love to know. It looks like you've used so many of those keywords. Awesome. So we've got some researchers. Kimberly, if you wouldn't mind, on the cogwheel above that list of keywords, I just wanted to point out where you on the other, above the keyword list, the other cogwheel.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and click hide used. I just want to point out that you can just show the ones that are left to be used. So it's a great way
we don't need dog mat.
No.
Rid of that one.
But
now, if I filled up all of my bullet points in my description, this is something I love because you can just bump up your score so quickly. If you hover over, you can just add.
Yeah.
Oops, hang on. I think I did travel. Oh, no, travel and style with this adorable portable.
What Kimberly was doing then is they're highlighted in the dark green color if they haven't been used yet. If you click on it, it adds it straight to the back end search term. So if you've got your list of keywords that you haven't yet used and you've got no more space or you can't fit it into your listing elsewhere, you can just click on it and it goes straight to your back end search term. So you know that you're going to have a chance to be optimized for it, rank for it. Has a huge effect. So that's at 18,000 now. Compared to 8,000, 19, it's about to hit 20 by the looks of it, versus 8,000 as it is currently now. So almost, yes, absolutely. That's awesome. It looks like we've got a lot of researchers in the room too. So don't feel like this is something you don't need to know. It's really important and can actually help with your product research because you can see if there's gaps in your competitors. So maybe the competitors aren't doing a great job. You can jump in here and go, look, their listing optimization score is 5,000. I have the tools, the knowledge. I am sure I can absolutely crush it, just like Kimberly's doing here, and gives you that confidence when you're launching.
Yeah, so I've got a few left, but man, that's not too bad.
I'd be very happy if that was my listing.
Oh, cat furniture. We need to add that one. That's going to bump us right up. And hammocks. And cat. Let's do kitten. There we go.
So the other thing you can do, if you select all those keywords that are left now, just in the top, and then under the cogwheel again, you can put add to search terms. That's going to add all the remaining ones. That's kind of your catch-all to make sure that everything is.
And look at that. I still have room.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So.
And you've got a
fully. So we maxed it out.
Yeah, I love it. That's so cool.
Yeah, so this is the thing. I mean, this is a really, really, really fun score, and I'm super competitive, but these are the ones that are putting dollars in my pocket. So this is kind of like the gamified score. So don't get too hung up on the optimization score if you're mastering these two numbers for super hyper relevant keywords that are important to your product.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that top optimization score is going to depend on your marketplace and your niche. So yeah, absolutely. Those two bottom ones are the way to go.
Yep. So I did that here too. 21097.
Oh, same amount. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
So that's just how easy it is to, and as you can see, I mean, the big thing is here, all of this is readable. It's all absolutely readable. And I've kept the bullet points super short. I've heard someone say this, and I don't know how true it is, that even though you can put 500 characters in each of your bullets, that only the first 1,000 characters in all of the bullet points actually gets indexed. Now, I don't know how true that is, but if you're keeping your bullet points, down, 100 or so characters per bullet point, not only is it going to be super easy for people to read. I know when I go to a listing and I see a paragraph in a bullet point, I don't read it.
No, I actually had that conversation with one of our development team. So the people who actually make the ZonGuru tools, and they have tested that theory and it's not true. So Amazon will rank you for any keyword in your list that awesome. Potential's there. Yeah, because I have heard that as well. And we're lucky that we get to work with such detailed, thorough people, because they assured me, no, we've put it to the test and it will still rank you. But it depends.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it depends.
That myth debunked.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here to cut through, but depends on your selling category as well. I know in one of mine, I only have 100 character limit in my bullets. I can't go over that. So I have to be really short and concise. So it will change. Yeah, something to keep in mind too.
Yeah, but for me, I like to keep them brief just because I'm trying to sell to humans and I want to rank for the algorithm, but I want to sell to humans. And this is another thing, and you can tell me if our developers have tested this or not, but my understanding is that when you have A+ content, your description doesn't get seen by the customers, but if you have things in there, it will still index with the algorithm.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. It just sits behind the scenes. Yeah.
You could pack in so much stuff. So when you have that urge to keyword stuff, if you have A+ content, you've got 2,000 characters in the description where you can just stuff to your heart's content, and no one will see it except for the algorithm. And you'll have a really beautifully crafted, concise, and well-written, relevant listing that is going to resonate with your customers. Again, I don't want to read a paragraph when I go to the bullet points. I want them to be bullet points.
Yeah.
I want to read more of that material, maybe in infographics. A picture's worth 1,000 words. So using that A+ content with really smart text around it makes a huge difference and will really resonate.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I just, should we open it up to Q&A now?
I think so.
Yeah, because I feel like there might be some questions that, and it doesn't need to be about today's topic. It can be about anything to do with Amazon. Like I said, we'll do our best to answer, and I'm sure there's some pretty clever people in the room that can add to it as well. I usually learn something from each of these sessions we do, so feel free to share anything. Jane, I agree with what Kimberly's saying. We want to be really relevant with our bullet points instead of focusing on just maxing everything out. Just call out those key benefits, focus on those keywords that are really important, make it readable rather than going, I need to hit 500 characters in this space. It's going to be.
I mean, if you need 500 characters to communicate what you need to communicate, then absolutely go for it. You know, especially now that that myth has been debunked, which makes me so happy. Because I don't like being restricted. But yeah, for me, it's a balance of being really optimized for the algorithm, but really optimized for your customer, because you want your customer to read it and get the information out of it that's important to them. So yeah. Oh, don't apologize for having questions. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we love the interaction. Yeah, Robert, we always try and do live demos on these trainings because that's how we like to learn. So yeah, definitely where we can, we will show it in real time and use examples from our own life where we can as well. It's great to hear that you like that.
Well, and I think a thought just came to my head, circling back to Jane's comment. When you have that really, really relevant, refined list of keywords that you've gotten from Keywords on Fire, knowing that you only have to put it somewhere in your listing once, you don't have to keep repeating it. So that can help you, really make sure that everything is super readable, and that you don't have to necessarily pick up the full 500 characters unless you really just need it to get your point across. And I try and make my bullet points, each bullet point is kind of addressing a different aspect. Maybe one is talking about the giftability, and speaking to that person who might be shopping for this as a gift. The other might be hitting hard about a particular feature of it. Like for this one, it is listed as an outdoor pet bed also. Well, maybe that fabric is going to be breathable to help keep your cat or your dog cool in the warmer months, and you could explain that in a bullet point.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't until you showed the infographics that how it is at the moment started to make sense to me, because they said the canvas fabric, it's durable, but then on the infographic they were like, you can machine wash this fabric. I'm like, well, put that in the bullet, because that's what's going to sell it to me. I don't know what you mean by durable canvas, but tell me that means you can wash it in a washing machine. I'm on board.
Oh, 100%, because oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I have a dachshund, and we have a saying in our house that it's not dog hair, it's dachshund glitter. And so we have dachshund glitter everywhere. So things need to be washable.
Jane's just really raised a great question about packaging, and should you be concerned about plastic packaging? Should you go really high end? Should you focus on biodegradable? I would be thinking really strongly about what's important to your avatar. So if you're selling something that is likely to be bought by someone that is very green living, caring about that sort of thing, don't wrap it in plastic. You need to meet the customer where they're at. So if you are on a budget, there is heaps of clever ways to do it. Maybe you go with that craft box originally. They're really cheap and you have a pretty sticker on it. Once you've got a few runs under your belt, that's when you can get to that next level up, and maybe you get that biodegradable, compostable packaging if that suits your brand, your customer. But there's ways to go around it. I know when I first launched my product, I went with the plain box with the pretty sticker. Now it's like this colorful, it looks like a unicorn's just vomited over it, like all the different inserts and things. Like, you eventually move to where you want to be, but keep your customer in mind.
Well, and depending on what your product is, just a little like a little cardboard sleeve around the product may be sufficient. I've ordered a few things lately for my granddaughter for school, and we got a lunchbox, and it came, and it was just in a plain plastic bag with a barcode stuck on it. And I'm like, I opened it up out of the Amazon package. I'm like, they're not even trying. So,
no, yeah,
I was like,
and
that
it
could have
doesn't
been
take
really
much.
cute.
Yeah,
No,
and also
doesn't.
speak to your supplier. Like if you've got a good manufacturer, a few times they have actually suggested packaging solutions, and because they're doing everything on such big scale, they can negotiate great prices for you. They've got the products there, so they can make sure that it fits properly. Lean on them a little bit. Get some ideas from them. They'll be more than happy to help. I can guarantee it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I didn't have a real clue what I wanted out of my packaging, and they brought me this shape of box that folded a certain way, and I'm like, yep, and that's how much? I'm like, yep, okay, great, let's do it. And and you can, even if you wanted to have something on it, if you're going with that craft box, if you go a single color printing on it, a lot of times that's not going to be an additional charge.
Yeah, it's super. And yeah, when you start producing on scale, you might have it wrapped in tissue paper within like you can add on little extras that they are usually happy to do because you're ordering on such big scale. Hopefully that helps.
And a little bit of opening a package with a little bit of tissue paper and a sticker holding it together elevates the experience for me, at least. When I'm opening it, I'm like, oh, it's something a little special. I mean,
yeah. Good question about 3PLs as well. In Australia, they are a little bit different to the US because they're not as well established here for Amazon sellers, at least. I've been struggling with this the last 6 months or so because Australian 3PLs don't fully understand the Amazon landscape. There might be some there that do, but a lot don't. So 3PLs are basically, the way I use them in the US is they store my excess inventory because they are done at a much cheaper rate than if I was to put it all into Amazon, because Amazon's it's not designed to be a warehouse. They want your inventory to sell through. They're not there to hold it. They'll charge you for it. It's going to cost you a lot more. Whereas your 3PL, you can store all your stock there and then drip feed it into Amazon as you need, much cheaper rates. In Australia, I did get some quotes. I still haven't found a good one yet. They're expensive, if I'm being honest. If anybody in the room can share one that they're working with that they love, feel free to drop it into the chat. But in Australia, they are around, but they're more geared towards those Shopify single item fulfillment rather than on forwarding cartons to Amazon. So just keep that in mind when you're talking to them, because you'll have to explain that to them.
So as a rule, how much do you typically send into Amazon at a time then, since you in America?
Yeah, I use just in time. So I try to have 2 weeks worth of stock there, and that's it, which doesn't sound like a lot. At Christmas time, I obviously have to, do a lot more. But I find, 2 to 3 weeks worth of stock is perfect for me. And I have a great sell-through rate. My IPI score's through the roof. Amazon loves it because they're not holding all this old dead stock. It just keeps moving and ticking over for them.
Excellent. Good tip on the IPI score.
Awesome. So we've got PickPack as a suggestion. So maybe check that one out. I'm going to be writing that one down too, because I'm
going to write that down too.
That has been the bane of my existence these last couple of months. Jane, if you've got storage, I don't recommend it as a long-term solution, because the idea your time's better focused working on your business, not fulfilling packaging boxes up and things like that. But yeah, if you've got that option, might be good to look into as well. Samuel, IPI score, it's a score that Amazon gives you. I think it stands for Inventory Performance Index. They basically rank all sellers on how well they manage their inventory. The higher that IPI score, the more stock you can send to Amazon. The lower that score, you can find that they put restrictions on how much products you can send in. So if you're a brand new seller and you send in thousands of stock and then it sits there for 6 months or longer, you'll find that your IPI score will drop and you'll be restricted from sending more stock in. It just overall hurts your account health. Cool. I just noticed the time, Kimberly. I'm going to have to jump.
That's fine.
But I'll leave you to it. Thank you, everyone, for having me today. And yeah, you're in good hands with Kimberly. Thank you.
I'll keep going. So James asks, should you split up a delivery and send some to Amazon or send all to your warehouse and then send through to Amazon? I would work with your warehouse and find out what they recommend. The warehouse that I use, they don't, because they're collecting it from the lost the word, from the docks. So because they're collecting it from when it lands, they say that their cost to take that to Amazon is going to be much higher than it would be for me to use Amazon's partner carriers to pick it up from their warehouse. So work with your 3PL and ask them. They may have a better rates, and they'll let you know that. So I tend to send all of it to my warehouse, and then I send an order in. Oh, you're very welcome, Samuel. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So does anybody else have any other questions? Happy to answer anything related to Amazon. No? I'll give you guys a minute. Sometimes it takes a few seconds for the questions to come through the chat. Oh, and just to follow up on your question about how 3PLs work, in the US, there are 3PLs that will do a lot of other services for you. Like you could send different parts of a bundle and they would package it together for you. So in the US, there's a lot of options available to you on how 3PLs can help you with your Amazon business. For niche, so you find more niches using the Chrome extension over the niche finder. The niche finder, I have actually found lately a lot of ideas coming through that. I'll go through it and see so many ideas that I didn't think of. When I first started out in my Amazon journey, I had an idea for a product, so I didn't even use niche finder at first. I went straight to the Chrome extension. So if you have an idea for a product, go straight to Amazon, use the Chrome extension and validate the data. If you don't have an idea or you're looking for maybe things you hadn't thought of or to generate ideas, that's where niche finder is super, super powerful and can really help generate some of those ideas that you may not have thought of. So does that answer your question, Jane? I mean, and when you're using niche finder, are you using it on easy mode or advanced mode? And best 3PL in the States, there are so many to choose from. I couldn't even begin to give you an opinion, Angelina. I use one, but I'm wanting to transition to another one, so I won't name any names. But I know one of our partners at ZonGuru, my FBA prep, they're exceptionally good. I've also my 3PL guys, I've heard really good things about as well. I've not worked with them directly, but there's heaps out there. Okay, so you're using advanced with filtered metrics. Perfect. So the metrics, the filters are going to then restrict what the results are. So if you wanted to open it up, maybe be a little bit more broad with your metrics and see what generates and comes through and see if there's something there that maybe one of the metrics you were too restricted on. But using the metrics, the filters, is really a powerful way to just refine it down and clear out a lot of the fluff that's not going to be relevant or not going to work for your business. I don't find ideas using Chrome extension. I validate my ideas using Chrome extension. And niche finder is that great first step to go and just find a collection of different products in a niche or in a lot of niches that you may not have thought of. I have a brand that's in a particular space, and just going through niche finder, putting in the number metrics, the search volume and the price point and the review ratings, and then the niche score above 50, I find and then I pick the category or categories that I want to look at. I find so many different ideas that are applicable to my brand that I hadn't thought of. And I'm like, oh, that's a really great product. I'm going to go then validate that in Chrome Extension and SalesFy and just go through that whole product research step by step that we have in the ZonGuru platform. So I hope that answers your question, Jane. So if we don't have any more questions, we've gone pretty much just right at the hour mark. So I hope you guys got a lot of value out of today. If you think of any other questions or anything else, please feel free to reach out to us at support. Okay, so if you're interested in the Quick Start Challenge, Angelina's asked about the 14-day challenge, and that is the Quick Start Challenge. Let me find the link for that real quick, and I will pop that in the chat. That runs on your schedule. So whenever you want to start it, you just sign up for it. So let me grab the link for that. 1 second. I'm sorry, I can't see if you're asking any other questions right now while I'm getting this link. So I'll be right back. There you go. That is the link for that. And it's just support@ZonGuru, Robin, or if you're in the platform, that little chat bubble that was down, I'll just share my screen real quick because this could be really helpful. So when you're in the ZonGuru platform, within any of the tools, you can come up here to the need help and you can get, some of them will have an interactive tool. They'll have video tutorials, training articles, FAQs, or you can click here to go straight into the support. Or you can click here and open up and ask a question directly to support. And we do manage 24/7. We have people all across the globe. So there's always someone available to answer your questions in the support chat. All right, so you're very welcome. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you here next week. I think it's going to be Kimberly and Veronica. I've got something else that I have to take care of, so I won't be here next week, but you'll be in fantastic hands with another great topic next week. So you guys have a fantastic day.